Good morning and salam sejahtera everyone. Welcome to our forum discussion organized by University Malaysia of Kelantan. My name is Elaine Michelle Whitey and today I will be the moderator of our forum discussion. As we are gathering today, we are deeply discussed about the current hot topic that has been talked about from time to time, which is how does tourism affect the environment? But before we start, I would like to introduce our special panelists for today. Our first panel is student from UMK Jelly taking Bachelor of Applied Science in Forest Resource Technology with honor Mr. Iqmal Safwan bin Sahbuddin. Next, we have Mr. Afif Aiman bin Nordin, also a student from UMK Jelly, taking the same course as Mr. Iqmal did. Followed by our lovely Miss Fatin Izian binti Zulkifli, also a student from UMK Jelly, but taking Bachelor of Applied Science in Material Technology with honor as her main course. How are you guys? Is everyone feeling good?
Yes, very good.
Good to hear. Okay, without further ado, I would like to start our discussion. As we all know, any tourism activity is likely to have both positive and negative impact, especially in economic, social-cultural, and environmental impacts on the destination. In fact, tourism needs enough space to build new infrastructures, create new activities, and provide access to the destination. Several measures are undertaken in order to make this possible. Several measures all sometimes by deforestation, diverting rivers, and also transforming agricultural land, which negatively affects the environment and the ecosystem. So, Mr. Iqmal, what do you think about this issue? How does tourism affect the environment?
Thank you for moderator. I think tourism is a key contributor to greenhouse gases emitted in the atmosphere, which have been scientifically proven to be the main reason for the increasing global temperatures and changing climates. This is simply because tourism entails the movement of people from their areas of residence to new destination, such as we want go to Thailand, want to go Istanbul, London, or other places. We need to move from point A to point B, like that. Environmental specialists attributes the ever-rising global temperatures to increased greenhouse emission that trap the sun rays. One of the leading greenhouse gases is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, we know that this carbon dioxide is a hazard, primarily released into the atmosphere as a result of burning natural gas and natural fossil fuels in the electricity generation industry, automobiles such as cars, buses, that emit a lot of carbon dioxide gas every day. Not only that, carbon monoxide, chlorofluorocarbons, methane, nitrogen oxide that prevent and trap the earth heat from being released into space. This group of gases allows the sun's heat to penetrate it, but prevent the re-release of the earth heat into the atmosphere. Based on the statistic of tourism accounts, more over 55% of traffic movement globally, and for this reason, it contributes an estimated 3% of the total carbon dioxide emissions. As the number of tourists grows over the years, the level of emission will rise and climate change is also expected to worsen.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Iqmal. That sounds convincing. I believe our viewer out there must have an interest about global warming and climate change. So, can you tell us what government society that you see really took action when these issues occur? What are the examples of them?
What the government involved, like Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change (IPCC). This IPCC is the United Nations body of assessing the science related to climate change. The IPCC was created to provide policymakers with regular scientific assessment on climate change, its implication and potential future risks, as well as to put forward adaptation and mitigation options. Besides the Kyoto Protocol, Kyoto Protocol is an agreement in the United Nations Frameworks Conference on Climate Change, UNFCCC, which is universally accepted on the subject of global warming. Countries that agree to implement this protocol in their respective countries are committed to reducing emissions of carbon dioxide and five other greenhouse gases, or cooperating gases emission contracted if they maintain the amount or increase emissions of those gases, which are the cause symptoms of global warming. I think that is all.
Thank you again. Now, we all know which government sites should we refer to whenever these issues occur. So, now let's continue with our panelist number 2, Ms. Fatin.
Thank you to the moderator. Tourism as a whole and some of the actions by tourists have over time adversely affected the destination areas through various kinds of environmental pollution, including air, land, water, and soil. Some tourists, for example, will litter and leave behind garbage or waste like plastic wrappers and cigarette butts in the surrounding environment, thereby causing land pollution, plastic pollution, and cigarette pollution, respectively. Water pollution due to recreational boating activities has equally been reported. According to estimates by Ocean Conservancy, for instance, records an estimate of 70,000 tons of wastewater produced per year from cruise ships in the Caribbean, which affects the natural habitat of marine life. Sometimes, land degradation can also happen in the form of soil erosion as a result of creating national trails of cutting of marshes and obtaining wood fuel to facilitate hiking and camping activities. Tourism is also highly associated with noise pollution during festive season and events, and particularly due to high noise levels from cars, buses, aeroplanes, and recreational vehicles that can cause distress to wildlife and even alter wildlife's natural activity patterns. And since tourism accounts for more than 60% of all air travel, it is equally responsible for a significant share of air pollution through travel air emissions. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fatin. Oh well, those pollution issues sounds scary to me. Have you ever in person experienced one of these pollution at your own place? Can you tell us what you and your family do to reduce the pollution from keep happening?
There are some simple steps that me and my family took that can help us avoid the worst pollution. Firstly, avoid main roads. We regularly walk or cycle to work down a busy road or walk the children to school. Second, we open rear windows at home. Opening windows is good for allowing fresh air in and letting out indoor pollutants and bad smells. But if we live near a busy road, we avoid opening windows facing a busy road because it can cause more air pollutants in. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fatin. So, last but not least, let us continue with our panelist number 3, Mr. Afif.
Thank you, moderator. First of all, tourism and the environment are both intertwined. This is due to the fact that the environment, which refers to the physical environment, has natural component, with the majority of the environment's elements serving as tourist attraction. As a result, the growth of the tourist industry may have an indirect positive social influence on the local community. In Malaysia, it is found that there are several types of tourism can be categorized such as ecotourism, agriculture tourism, health tourism, ship tourism, culture and heritage tourism, and sport and recreational tourism. However, the physical environment has been harmed by society amnesia, which is to focus on growth for this sector improvement. Many tourism-related activities have had a harmful influence on the environment, including the forest, land, water, and air. Various destructions have happened, such as landslide, pollution, devastation of forests, as well as flora and animals. First of the point is tourism activities such as the development of artificial lakes such as Lake Kenyir in Terengganu have a significant environmental impact. Parts of the forest were submerged as a result of the destruction of forest region due to the construction of them to provide energy. Kenyir is a forest reserve that was established because of its forest component, which preserve a variety of life such as plant and wildlife. However, much of the forest area has been swamped due to the construction of hydropower dams. In addition, Kenyir Lake has become the epicenter of the tourism industry. Apart from producing energy, it is currently a well-known tourist destination to its beautiful scenery and the preserve of hundreds of little islands. However, what happened was the destruction of forest area for increased tourism activity in Kenyir caused many ecosystems and plants in the regions to be destroyed. Tourism activities such as fishing, water sport, and extreme forest activity lead to the extinction of flora in the region. Similarly, the discharge of food waste and debris would contaminate the drainage. Various destructions have happened, such as landslide, pollution, devastation of forests, as well as flora and animals. Another point is tourism activities such as the development of artificial lakes such as Lake Kenyir in Terengganu have significant environmental impact. Pardon me. Water quality will be impacted by tourism activities near water regions such as beach and island. The release of sewage waste into the sea from hotel, resort, and chalet will damage the salt water. The quality of seawater will deteriorate as a result of this condition. The presence of germs like E. coli was discovered to be due to sewage waste. When the bacterial concentration surpasses 200 mpm per 100 meter, the water quality is considered polluted. Water pollution will also result in the formation of an oil layer on the water surface, preventing sunlight from reaching the section of the seabed required for aquatic life, such as plants. This condition may make plants unable to thrive. Similarly, aquatic species such as fish and the aquatic life would lose their home, and food resource will be diminished as a result of garbage and hazardous chemical contaminating them. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Afif. As you mentioned before, due to the increasing of tourists in Malaysia has affected the environment, especially the ecosystem and aesthetic landscape, right? Therefore, is there any other ways that government can do to prevent these issues, and at the same time, the tourists still can visit our country?
Thank you, moderator. Yes, there was another ways to prevent this issue. For example, the government, the gazette location such as marine park or aquatic life sanctuary can be declared by the government. Marine parks have been established on tourist islands, including Langkawi Island, Tiamat Island, and Layang Island. This is to prevent the area environment from being destroyed and going extinct. Also, the government needs to declare forest reserve as government-managed regions. Forest reserve may be found in areas of Pahang, Terengganu, and Kelantan in Malaysia. And in the case that this region is eroded into action will be taken in accordance with the violation committed in accordance with the laws that have been enacted. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Afif. Okay, to sum up our forum discussion tonight, we all know that environmental sustainability is an issue of upcoming concern even when promoting tourism. From the discussion here, it is correct to conclude that in regards to the environment, tourism has both advantages and probably threats thought out to be examined. This calls for the needs of practicing healthier and sustainable tourism practices, especially for ecotourism. It is desperately requires everyone's involvement and initiatively to always conserve and protect our environment whenever we're traveling or in a foreign land, as it has been proven that it is possible to ensure a mutual beneficial coexistence between tourism and the surrounding ecosystem. Efficient management and proper planning with the aid of strict legislation and proper interpretation are also the key to creating ecological awareness for both the local and visiting tourists. I think that's all for our forum session today. I would like to thank to all our panelists for your contribution today.
Welcome.
Okay. Welcome.
Okay, goodbye everyone and have a good day.